All right, so Bant counters. This is a Hadana's Climb deck that's leveraging a couple other good cards in these colors. We've got white mostly for some removal as well as Shalai, which gives us something to do with our mana. One of the things someone just said, no Land War Elves is interesting, and I agree with that. I think that's definitely something I want to be, something that I want to think about. Like, is that relevant? Like, no turn one plays is something that's like a little bit medium, and Land War Elf is a powerful card, but maybe the quality of our cards just play out on 2, 3, 4 is good enough. So let's dive into some games and see how it feels. Yeah, mods in chat, like, I should probably write mod guidelines a little bit, but feel free to time out people who just put card name ? Or why not X, and feel free to reference them to the stream rules. Fenchi, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Welcome, welcome. All right. Easy catch and release here. This hand needs an untapped land. Any Shocker Forest makes this hand very good. I love how we literally take 30 seconds to say, don't do the thing, and then someone immediately does the thing. Don't do the thing. What's a good page to current Magic Arena decks? You can find a great source of Magic Arena decks on my website here, jeffoakland.com. Click Standard decks to the top. The constructed format in Arena is known as Standard Constructed. Alright, so do I want a Conclave Tribunal this Wildgrowth Walker? I feel like my deck has enough go over the top potential that even if they gain 6 life here, we could be okay. So I'm actually going to go ahead and play Jadelight Ranger here. For Climb, huh? I think I just leave this here, huh? Have a sword, Giuliano. I think I keep this. Yeah, I think that assessment is correct. Four mana is pretty close to enough to do whatever I want. Oh, I made a small mistake here. I should have attacked with Growth Chamber Guardian before I played the Jadelight Ranger, because my opponent wouldn't block while I'm threatening to adapt. But once I played Jadelight Ranger and used my mana, they can now block my 2/2 for free with their 1/3. So I missed 2 points of damage here because this isn't blocking next turn. So it's a really small mistake, but it's definitely one that could impact the game. So they should be 2 lower. So if we lose a race where they would have been at 2 life, you know, I have myself to blame. Man, 4/4s for 4 that cantrip seem real good. If I was going to Indy, what deck would I be playing? It depends on why am I going? If I was going just to like have a good time, I'd definitely play Bant Flash. I think that deck is like pretty powerful, and I love the playstyles it generates. We just started with this deck. If I wanted to be Burn, what would I play? Wildgrowth Walker. What do I want to do here? I feel like I'm going to Shock. I'm going to Shalai. And I'm going to Convoke out this Conclave Tribunal. Leaving my Jadelight up to block their Jadelights. Hadana plus Loxodon. That's an interesting line too. This takes 6 to adapt, so we're not quite there yet. Alright, so Shalai is dead. Well, I don't think this deck needs more lands, Turkin. I just think getting to your spells sooner would be a worthwhile thing to be doing. So, you know, there's that. If I wanted to win GP Indy, what deck would I play? Probably something aggressive. So I'm not gonna attack with this. I'm gonna attack with this, however. I'm not attacking with this because I want to trade for their 4-3 if they attack on the backswing. Most of the decks are viewer submitted here, remember? But in general, I think blue-green tends to lack the tools to be successful entirely on its own. Really? We're killing my climb. Interesting. So, I'm gonna attack Vivian with this and this. What if I attack with just this? They could put 5 in front of it, so this guaranteed kills Vivian. I'm gonna leave this back so it can play defense. Deal. Maybe they don't know what this card does. Gives itself trample. So, eat your thing, eat your thing.
I've seen worse.
This card's really sweet. Seems pretty powerful. I think I'm supposed to do something like this. Maybe I'm supposed to leave in some Conclave Tribunals. I guess I'm not blanking their enchantment hate. Yeah, this is a little mediocre. You only have one Carnage T. Yeah, there should probably be at least one more of these in the board. I think you should probably be playing all 12 Shocklands. You should probably be playing all 12 Shocklands if your deck's at all aggressive or has life gain. Sounds fine. The Growth Chamber Hada's climb curve is really good. That is not the white source I wanted for Christmas, but lets me play climb on 3 at least. Someone else commented on me calling it Hada's climb. I'm just leaving out the NAs at the end. It literally says H-A-D-A, Hada. Hadana, whatever. You want to pay, if you want to cheer every time I say the card name, I'll give you the extra syllable. Ain't nobody got time for extra syllables here, chat. Do you think that Wildgrowth Walkers in this deck could be History Banality or Incubation Druid? I mean, yeah, 8 Explorers is enough. That's what the opponent's deck plays mean being. All the Wildgrowth Walker decks are generally like 8 Explore decks. So someone just asked if this deck runs sideboard Tecatli. Because this deck doesn't play... Because this deck plays Explore creatures, we can't play our own Tecatlis. So, Tecatli impacts us. Maybe they had to go somewhere? I don't know. How are we doing, folks? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everybody wherever you're out in the world. Thanks for hanging out here today. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. I'm here playing Magic 30, 40, 50 hours a week. If you enjoy standard best of 3 on Magic Arena, this is definitely the channel for you. I do this every morning into the afternoon from about 9 till 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Big shout out, as always, to all my wonderful subscribers. I wouldn't be able to be here day in and day out without their wonderful support, so thanks to them. Also, big shout out to all my wonderful sponsors. Harry's Razors would love to help you get that close, clean shave using code Jeff Hoagland at bit.ly/Shugel You can save $5 on your brand new starter kit with them. Remember, just because you have a nice beard doesn't mean you need to have a neck beard. Hurly Burly Studios does wonderful professional Magic the Gathering altars on their website, hurlyburlystudio.com. You can find examples of border extensions as well as full art replacements. You could use code Jeff10 to save 10% all of your orders there with them. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn your cards into other cards direct to the players. There's no haggling. They just take a 1% fee off the top. And of course, Inked Gaming would love to help you customize your gaming experience using code Jeff12. You can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags of them. You can upload your own custom artwork or choose from the wide range of custom artwork that they have on their website. Lindsay's not online, so here you go. Sounds good, Confusion. Here's a good example of the altered card. They sent me some that are really wonderful. I have not done any casting for Magic tournaments. SCG has a pretty core audience of people that they have cast for them, and I don't have an in with Wizards of the Coast, so... Unbreakable Formation. Unbreakable Formation is interesting. I like that this card's a body on its own, but 4 of them might be a little much for a deck that doesn't have a lot of cheap creatures. Yeah. Yeah, the Nerd Rage Gaming offer just like... The amount of work it was, the amount of money time was just a bad ratio. That's true. I did do a bunch of hex casting for a hot second. So, do we just hit them for 10 here? I think we just hit them for 10 here, right? Charge! Alright, I think my opponent is playing a Gates Matters deck, which probably means these Vivian and these Negates are great. The Gates Matters deck tend to play a bunch of enchantments too, right? Pump, pump, smash. My opponent played Merfolk Branchwalker. I mean, we did kill him on turn like 5 there. Do you have a good guide on sealed that focuses on deck building? I do not. I don't really play limited, so I would not be a good person to do on that. Can't do enough. I guess it's fine. I think it's one of those, like, I only have 8 2-drops in my deck right now, so, like, mulliganing for a 2-drop, like, isn't super feasible. So I think I'm gonna top this and then get rid of it because I want to make sure this gets the second counters that I can flip climb next turn. Who determines what makes the front page? It's a mix of things. So my setup to be on the front page every Monday this month was through my Twitch partner, but there's other things that go into it too. Yeah, I agree. 4 Loxodon feels a little bit heavy in a deck that can't consistently play it early like white aggro.
How this thing goes is until you feel the wrath of Scala.
Be interesting to see what they do once they actually get going this game.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
I'm gonna Branchwalker here first to give myself the best possible chance to get a spell on top. That way this can flip this turn. It's all about the climb, baby. Incubation Druid could be good. Incubation Druid's good with climb and sees it with Loxodon. So yeah, maybe that could be good as the other one we're looking for. That card's really big.
Meet my newest friend.
I'm gonna hold on to this till next turn. Sing the Climb by Miley Cyrus. Yeah, we'll get right on that one.
Do this again.
I'm just gonna let this happen. They know about this negate, so that's potentially baiting it.
And this is nothing.
I already have a flipped Hadana, so I'm intentionally not flipping it. Yeah, I think so, Isha. I think this is probably the card that's going to make an impact on green-black. And this doesn't actually go, it just goes on top of their deck, yeah.
I'll be back, just like before.
Yeah, this resolves. It shuffles their Gate Colossus away. Deal. So they have a 10-10, but like I have one growth chamber left, right? So if I do this and adapt this, take action, get this. So I can do this. So I'm going to put a counter on here, because now if they don't draw a sweeper, they're dead next turn. They need to draw their third Gates Ablaze. Yeah, they're dead. So I'll get to turn this into a 10-10. So I'm gonna put on full control mode. That also works, but I believe they're just dead this turn, right? So I do this and jump it. I don't even need full control mode. So this puts it to a 10-10. Then this goes here. And then flips over. Keep the new one. And then this turns it into a 22-22. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22. It's all about the climb, baby. All about the climb. Get him. Get him. The old legendary rule. Zoidberg is very upset, chat. Very upset. What are we? Where is it? Bant counters. Can I try? Have you tried Incubation Druid in this deck? Dows? I think 4 of these is a little bit clunky, and I kind of want to try some Incubation Druid. I want to try a couple of these. I just think this is a little bit clunky with how few cheap creatures we have, so I'm gonna try a pair. I like some of this elephant, but like a pair of these seems real good too. I think the new Bolas creature is reasonable and glorious as foretold. I don't know what the new Bolas. Oh wait, the 4/4 for 4? No, those do completely different things. Ral in the sideboard is a removal spell for large threats like Charmaglaive. Hey, just a voice, dude. Thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Welcome. This game's not amazing, but it's fine. God, the breeding pool sound effect is so... Who's ready to go on a safari? Oh man. Hey, Southpaw 90. Welcome. Thanks for chipping your Bezo bucks this month. I appreciate that. So, Druid of the Cowl versus Incubation Druid is that Druid of the Cowl can survive finality without having to augment it, which is a big deal.
I will defend. Are you certain of your decision?
Ooh, that's exciting. I was gonna play Shalai, but this sounds great. Druid of the Cowl does block 2/1s, that is very true. Like, Exhibit A.
I'll make use of that later.
Oh, gross. Poor Shalai, gonna get condemned next turn. Someone asked about Krasis in this deck. I don't know. Krasis is a card that, like, you need to make pretty absurd amounts of mana for it to be useful. I don't think this deck is quite getting to those absurd levels of mana. Yeah, I think if you want to play Krasis, you want, like, a lot of ramp in your deck. You want, like, land more elves and a bunch of druids, not just, like, 2 druids. Are the decklists you put on your website, are they the original submissions or after you swapped a few cards out during the stream? So, the actual decklist pages, when you click standard decks, those are all hand curated by me, and they're regularly updated. So, the goal of my website is you can know every decklist on my website for standard and modern are current decklists that are always relevant. So you don't have to guess, like, is this good enough? You can just load that up and go, this is reasonable because Jeff has worked on it. How much money does one have to put in the game to play any deck? Like, any deck, like me, literal any deck, it's like 200 bucks a set. $250 a set, probably about $250 a set. So, 5 months, 5 lands, Emrakul the Promised Dead. What's going on, Turn 3 Current Liberated? Thanks for the tier 3, I really appreciate that. Welcome back. So, if I could go Branchwalker plus climb on the walker, flip the climb, and then I can start pressuring this Karn, which would be nice, I think. It also means that my opponent would Vraska's Contempt this instead of my Shalai, which would be okay. I think I'm down for that. That's really unfortunate. I think we're probably dead here. Yeah, I want to go ahead and pack it in. The Karn just buried us here. I think that Red Dreen Eldrazi is a good deck in Modern right now. It's never been a good deck in Modern. That deck is full of slow, clunky, inefficient cards that just aren't good in the format. Modern's about brutal card efficiency, and that deck does not provide brutal card efficiency. Do this, bring in Vivians and a Settle. Trim some of these enchantment removals that aren't particularly good. The gen deck seemed reasonable by the time we ended. It was a little bit rough to start, but I feel like the core of what was there was great. Eldrazi was good once, yeah, and then they banned Ayavugan. Really helpful how you break down how you've chosen changes in deck tweaking process. Thanks, Wait for Lord. Glad you enjoy it. It's really easy to manage Modern. They just don't want to. They're happy with what Modern is. Red-Green Eldrazi is pretty decent against Blue-Red Phoenix. Why is that, AGH? They don't have any meaningful way to interact with Thing in the Ice because they only have Lightning Bolt as removal. I guess they have like 2 or 3 dismembers. And Phoenix just goes over the top of them and has a fast draw. And like Phoenix's fast draws are like much faster than Red-Green Eldrazi's fast draws. So on paper, it looks like Blue-Red Phoenix would dumpster the inefficient mess that is Red-Green Eldrazi. Is there some aspect of it I'm not thinking of? They can play Flame Slash, but they don't because Flame Slash is not a great card in most of Modern. Yeah, correct. Like, what they can do and what they actually do is very different. Yeah, it does extras. Do I have a Jund deck for this new set? We played a Jund Judith deck this morning. Should be able to find up on my YouTube channel later. That seemed very reasonable. They can take, sure, yes, they have a couple of Eldrazi Obligators and 0 cantrips in their deck other than Ancient Stirrings. So their deck's gonna be way less consistent. Next point. They have Chalice, Maiden in the side. That's not true. So now you're talking about a different deck. Red-Green Eldrazi does not play Chalice the Void. Do I track my stats with different decks? Nah. Tracking stats is pretty meaningless. The sample size that you need for your statistics to be relevant is never going to be obtained. Especially once you factor in, like, making small changes to decks in between things. Yeah, the Phoenix deck gets to play a bunch of breeds and stuff like that too to beat up Chalice. Yeah, the Mardu Knights deck was good too, for sure. Alright, maybe we'll get to curve Druid into Climb for the first time. Need to hit a blue source here to do that. Perfect. I'm here for walls. Most of the folks in chat are probably waiting for walls, to be fair. Alright, if they don't have a cast down here, we're going to be in a real good spot. I mean, you can font, but this isn't like Trump's Twitter account, so I try to be responsible with the information that I put out there. Deck, rude. A friend and I were discussing Modern and we were debating about Jund versus Green Black. I was on the side that they both had similar playstyles and pattern, with Green Black's biggest advantage being that I can interact with lands. My friend was the mindset that they were completely 2 different decks that function differently. They're both the same archetype. They're different. It's like Green-Black to Jund is like Esper controlling this guy control. They're both control decks with the same 2 of the same colors. Metamorph, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. Welcome. Thanks for being played here. For example, you can know that red is popular, then you can build accordingly, but you can't know that red is popular. So one of the things you need to understand when you look at Magic data is we don't have complete information when looking at Magic data. We don't know which decks actually performed well at a tournament. We just know which decks had top finishes. There's a difference between a deck having a top finish and a deck performing well at a tournament. For example, let's say there's 2 copies of Black-Green in the top 8 of a major tournament, but half the people playing in that tournament played black-green at that tournament. If half the people played black-green, but only 2 copies made top 8, the deck actually underperformed. And that's obviously an extreme example, but it's a functional example explaining why it's not good. Alright, so I'm going to shock this in. I'm going to go ahead and Conclave Tribunal this map, I think, here. And then Climb gets to go ahead and go on Shalai, which means they have to throw 3 goblins to kill it. Watching you for the last couple days. I appreciate the knowledge and love watching. Well, thanks for the support, Metamorph. Thanks for keeping me around for the future. They got the devil out of us. No, Wizards does not track data at their events or release it. And the data that they do have from applications like Magic Online and Arena, they don't share publicly. Busy day at Hurley Burley Studio. It is going well, Hurley. Glad you're having a good one. So I'm taking the CJ Commander not because it's scary, but because it can throw goblins at my stuff. Yeah, Zegana's been really good. This card's definitely been one of the highlights of this archetype. And again, like, I've talked about, like, when I'm playing new decks in the format like this, I'm mostly trying to get a feel for which decks seem good, which cards seem reasonable, and my takeaway from playing this so far is definitely Zegana seems awesome. Yeah, a big part of why they don't share data is because Standard was bad for so long that they didn't want to have good people. They didn't want people to have accurate things to point to show why it was bad. Squish. Dunk. Yeah, I agree, Burgle. Am I about to get burned out? I'm about to get burned out, aren't I? Land lightning strike kills me here. God dang it. Should have left the Wildgrowth Walker back. Alright, well, we have them dead through a removal spell here. Alright, sweet. I definitely should have left this back so I wasn't dead to shock into lightning strike. Definitely should have happened. Thankfully, this is a no justice stream, so we were not punished. Black-red. Seal Away seems mediocre. This does not seem fantastic. This card has just been really kind of mediocre overall. There's probably a bunch of sweepers in their deck. I think Vivian Reed seems fine. Probably don't mind a couple of negates. What do you think of Zegana and Merfolk? You should definitely be playing this card in Merfolk, I think. Unfortunate that Wizards feels highly degenerate modern is healthy. Slightly concerned a new format is going to go the same way with highly impactful decks. So here's the thing, Zephoid, and this is why I think the new format can be managed completely differently. The new format isn't going to go back super far, most likely. So if it starts with a shallow card pool, they can manage it without ripping decks out from under people that they've had for years, which is basically one of the things that they're afraid of doing, I think. I'm completely new to Magic. I played a couple of games online. How would you suggest I start off? It's overwhelming to get all the cards, knowing all the strategies. I feel kind of lost. Well, the best way to start, and this is me being honest with you because it's going to tell you to look at other people's streams and not mine. The best way to start is definitely learn how to play Limited. And learning how to play Limited is a great way to ease into learning Magic, because with Limited, like Sealed and Draft, you only need to know the cards that are in that one set or two sets that you're drafting to play with. So there's a much smaller card pool to start with. We've not played Captive Jund. It's still in the deck queue and it'll be coming up at sometime soon. Put this towards Rakdos Midrange, please. I'm off tomorrow and want to see it played live. Been tuning it more and more and it seems powerful and consistent. Thanks for the bits, Corks. I appreciate it. I'll get those added in tonight after I'm done. Seems like potentially mediocre, but it's hard to pass up this into this. Gorks, can you let me know which red-black mid-range is yours? There's a couple of them in the queue. Let me know which line it's on. Send me a DM, please. I need to start having people do that when they bump certain things, so I don't just guess. With Pod Bomb sometime? I think I have a Temur Vanafear deck in the queue. For Modern, I honestly don't remember, Rixel. It's probably not going to be anytime super soon. While Standard's hot, I'm only going to be doing one Magic Online League per morning. Would you ever consider Pauper as a good starting point for Magic? No, I think Pauper is an awful starting point for Magic. The gameplay is very specific and doesn't translate well to other formats, and it has a lot of cards in it that are going to be confusing to learn. The only thing Pauper has going for it is that monetarily it's cheap. DJP, I'm a fan of your stream for years now, so I'm happy to see your stream grow more and more. Keep up the great content. Well, thanks for the 5 months. No, I'm not a big fan of Limited personally. Pretty much only play. I don't really play much Magic off stream these days because I play so much on stream. So the reason why I don't stream Limited is because I don't really play it. Yeah, I think that double Lava Coil is good for us. We're definitely ahead at the moment. Yeah, like I've got 6 cards in my hand here, so I'm gonna lead on Merfolk Branchwalker here. They named wait, what? My opponent named Jadelight Ranger with this. Maybe my opponent's new at Magic. They're mousing over their spyglass, so I think they're confused. I was checking to make sure if it was on Wing Temple or not, but apparently they named Jadelight Ranger. So for reference for people that aren't familiar with Sorcerer's Spyglass, the way you can tell if something is an activated ability is if something's an activated ability, it will have a colon on the card. So for instance, on the backside on the Wing Temple of Orzaka here, you can see that there's a colon in between the cost and the activation here. You can, in fact, name Dark Confidant with Pithing Needle. They are about to be dead very quickly here. Hurt itself in confusion. Oh, that's real good. So this climb is going to turn this into a 5. Yeah, they could have named Wing Temple of Orkaza, Orzaka, or Razka. I don't care how it's pronounced. They could have named this card. They could have named the Wing Temple. I think that might have been a shame concession. We're just gonna call it the Wing Temple, okay, chat? I think more and more people will start switching from MTGO to MTGA. I mean, there's already a bunch, right? If you look at the number of people playing standard leagues on MTGO, it's extremely low compared to the other formats. Perfect. 2 months, not long enough. To many more. Thank you. Thank you, Miles. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Got the combo here. Just this. 1, 2, 3. It's just elementary. What could it be? All right, get a rematch here against Black Green. Stand up for a little while. Get a little stretch. How are we doing, folks? Hope everybody enjoyed the ride. Nobody has motion sickness, I hope. The abrasive standard is crazy cheap because so few play standard. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna bend that. Let's dig deeper. We can go deeper. Thunk. We've got 2 things with 2-on-1 counters on them, so even if they kill something here, we get to climb and flip. This is a super aggressive start for us. We get to do this. Into climb. I can't Branchwalker first because this flips inside of combat. So, I didn't have the 5th mana to play Branchwalker until I was in combat. Dunk. Little love tap there. Vox, thank you very much for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here. You know, the more we play this, the less convinced I am that the white cards are worth playing. Like, I feel like what we're doing here, I feel like I just want to build like a Merfolk deck. Anybody else getting that vibe? Yeah, I almost feel like that's my takeaway at this point. I just like kind of want to be Simic Climb. The 1/1 blue Merfolk that lets you draw and discard a card every time it gets a 1/1 counter seems really good. Yeah, every counter the Biomancer loots. I don't even know that you need to be in Merfolk because, like, playing Mr. Pinchy is, like, really good. Like, Mr. Pinchy is one of the cornerstones of every green deck these days, but... And Pinchy plus Climb is a good combo. Muldrotha, welcome to the clunk, baby. Sure. No reason to trade this for their 4/3, so let's pass. Mr. Pinchy, the elf crab. A pinch. A pinch. Alright, yeah, no, come at me. Come at me, bro. No blocks. You're just like dead and 2 over there. Don't mind me. Charge. Like, eat a removal spell or they're dead. I'm not blocking here because they need a removal spell to save them. So there's no reason to give them draws at a removal spell. Yep, just dead. I see you and others knowing their stuff, ditching non-land they draw into with Explore, or being very comfortable discarding cards from their hand with Merfolk when you mention cards with Jumpstart. Is there anything out there that will help me who is too attached to these cards feel more comfortable pitching cards when I should? So, one of the things you need to realize when you're playing Magic, and this is different, I'm not sure if you have a Hearthstone background personally, but it's very different coming from Hearthstone, is that in the average game of Magic, you do not see your entire deck. So, looting through a spell that you don't need at a given point in time is very similar to just never having drawn it. So like getting rid of a card doesn't mean there aren't more spells in your deck. Where in Hearthstone, if you been a legendary, some of those decks just stop functioning. Where this game, Magic, is very different, where there's almost always more cards in your deck to get to. What's the strongest deck we've tried until now? Either the Black-White Angels or probably Rakdos Aggro that we played off the website, or Growl Rhythm. Those are my three like on pure power level, those would be my 3 picks. So, Rakdos, Growl, or Orzhov. Angels, Rhythm, or Aggro. And you can find more than just powerful decks on my website. They all feel competitive that are listed there, but there's a lot of ones that are just good, clean fun too. Oh no! Don't kill Mr. Pinchy! No! Mr. Pinchy! Oh, poor Mr. Pinch. He's just a lonely crab trying to get by in this hard world. You're cruel, opponent. You're so cruel. It's Dr. Pinchy, sorry. God. Forgot Dr. Pinchy had completed his PhD. I'm gonna leave a forest up here, because if I draw a island, I want to be able to cast this other Branchwalker. I'm gonna leave that there, because it triggers my Wildgrowth next turn. No reason to attack my 2/4 into their 5/4. We've not played Temur Nexus yet. He's an MD, actually. Dr. Pinchy, MD. Do you have a Lava Coil? If they don't have a Lava Coil, this Wildgrowth Walker on the back of Jadelight Ranger might allow us to resear. Probably just dead at this point. Go ahead and move along. Well, this is a matchup where the white cards are good at least. Get to get all of these. Vivian Reed's pretty reasonable here too. Get at least 2 of her in here. Shalai doesn't really block profitably in this matchup, so I'm going to go ahead and trim her. A lot of these Drake decks don't have Phoenix anymore, which makes Shalai become a little bit lackluster against them. Thanks everyone for hanging out today, by the way. There's a lot of great people doing stuff on Twitch right now, and I appreciate you dropping in here. Why is Nexus bad in best of 3? Duress, Counterspell, Cindervine, Aggro. All of those things are real good against Nexus. Yeah, I agree, Burgle. I think this is going to be our last match with this deck, and this deck is doing some sweet things, but I feel like the sweet things this deck is doing don't need the white cards. Oh no! Dr. Pinchy! Oh no! Nah, I just don't think Scavenger is very good, honestly. I think that card's probably not great in the sideboard. The fact that a lot of these decks aren't playing Phoenix anymore makes it a lot better. Woof. drew 2 lands and still didn't hit blue. Now, if Windows programs in my Chromebook, awesome, yeah. I actually, I used a Chromebook for development stuff for like a year and a half during grad school when I couldn't afford a better laptop. I got by running Linux on it. Shocking. How do you make the deck banners on your website? They look great. I pay a graphics designer to mash up the artwork of Magic cards in Photoshop. Could you sub in red for rhythm? I'm not sure what that really accomplishes. So, I think I actually want to go to my second main phase here. Because I don't want this to get a counter from Climb. I want to adapt it next turn, so that way the Climb flips next turn. Why not take Scavenger for this matchup? Because I don't think it's very good. Because this card doesn't care where the instant sorceries are. So if they have a protection spell for this Seal Away, I get to play another Seal Away next turn, which is nice. Wong. You don't have a lot of cards in their hands here, though, so probably wouldn't be too surprised to see another removal spell. Shocking. The shock is the punish for waiting on the climb, because if I would have climbed last turn on it, it would have been a 1/3 and not died. Yeah, Temur could be interesting. I don't know that rhythm is necessarily good, but like things like Lava Coil are definitely great. This is basically what we're playing as an aggro deck, and like Seal Away isn't an aggro removal spell. This is a defensive removal spell, whereas Lava Coil can be used for either, right? It can be used when you're proactive or defensive.
Time to choose. Always so exciting.
Yeah, we're very dead. Yeah, so to comment on what we have going on here, just to think about this for a second, I was not a huge fan of the White Splash. However, the Climb package was really good, and we killed people really consistently with the Climb package. Zegana really overperformed, both as just becoming an 8/8 Trampler, and just being a 4/4 that drew us extra cards, and even just giving Jadelight Trample on curve was, like, really good. As far as splashing goes, a couple people are talking about Rhythm. I don't think Rhythm is good in this deck. So again, Rhythm of the Wild is a card that you generally want to be playing in a deck that's going bigger past the Rhythm. And if you look at what this deck is doing, when we have a bunch of 2s and 3s, it's not going bigger past Rhythm. Rhythm is good in monster mid-range decks. It's good with Phoenix, it's good with Dragons, it's good with those types of cards. So, I definitely think I'd be interested in maybe Temur, but not for Rhythm, but for like Lava Coil as a proactive removal spell. As well as, you know, trying just straight Simic. And I'm pretty sure we have a straight Simic Climb deck in the queue at some point. So let's go ahead and move along to the next one here. We've got some Bant walls. That's one I know a few people